Hello, my name is Rodney and I am a Director in the Audit Office. Along with Christine Burns and Conor McGeown, we undertook a value for money study on the subject of capacity and capability in the Northern Ireland Civil Service. This was an interesting and cross-cutting study over the central government departments. We engaged extensively with the Department of Finance as the lead department, and we conducted a survey obtaining direct feedback from all 9 departments. We also undertook various stakeholder engagements both locally and with other jurisdictions. In a moment, Conor will talk through some of our graphics and findings on workforce planning, age analysis, succession planning, on the vacancy levels and the reliance on temporary promotions, recruitment processes, skills gaps and performance management. Just some of the areas we explored in this wide-ranging review. At the heart of our work, we concluded that to function effectively, Northern Ireland Civil Service departments require the right people in the right place at the right time. We found that at an NICS-wide level, there has not been a strategic focus to ensure that this is the case. It must of course be recognised that NICS staff have delivered very vital services to the people of Northern Ireland during unprecedented challenging circumstances, and especially recently in relation to preparations for the exit from the European Union and in responding to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, the service is now at a critical crossroads, struggling to deal with providing business as usual services. Shortfalls in workforce capacity and capability have been a recurring theme in reports published by our office, and were also reflected in the recommendations stemming from the RHI inquiry. The NICS has made progress in some areas, but we concluded that urgency, pace and investment in strategic workforce planning, organisational development and people management are all required. Our report specifically highlights the need for more collaborative working and strong collective leadership throughout the NICS, and we believe a real opportunity exists to use this report's findings and recommendations to support senior leaders to substantially transform the service and its culture and improve outcomes for citizens. Given the immense value that attaches to the work of public servants, now is the opportunity to drive this forward. Over to Conor.
Hello, my name is Conor McGeown and I am the Senior Auditor who led the research, analysis and drafting stages of this report. As Rodney has said, I will be talking you through some of the key figures and findings. At March 2019, over 22,000 members of staff were employed by the Northern Ireland Civil Service, with annual staffing costs totalling 918 million. We have already mentioned some of the significant challenges that the civil service has faced in recent times. In addition to these, budgetary pressures over the past number of years have required the civil service to undertake a programme of workforce rationalisation. This was delivered primarily through a voluntary exit scheme, which contributed to a workforce reduction of almost 4,000 in the 4-year period up to 2019. This is important context as I now start to discuss some of our key findings. So what is capacity and capability? Capacity relates to having the right size of workforce. Capability, on the other hand, relates to having the requisite skills, knowledge and expertise. After considering the range of strategic issues that Rodney previously mentioned, the report makes a series of conclusions. The first relates to resourcing and workforce planning. Workforce planning is a crucial part of ensuring that any organisation has both appropriate capacity and capability. Our report, however, found that current arrangements are not adequate to effectively manage a complex organisation with over 22,000 staff. Prior to 2019-20, 5 of the 9 civil service departments had no formal workforce plans in place. But in 2019, it took steps to address this by introducing a new planning template for all departments to use, although 3 departments could not provide us with even draft plans. The new template also only focuses on headcount and does not consider the important issue of skills. As a result, a civil service-wide workforce plan, which considers both staff numbers and skills, has not been developed. Our report also finds that in March 2019, 45% of the civil service was over the age of 50. This percentage has been increasing over the past number of years and suggests that a significant number of retirements could occur in the next 10 years. This is important, as unless significant workforce planning improvements are made and plans drawn up to address these potential departures, the capacity and capability of the civil service workforce could be significantly eroded. In the absence of robust workforce planning arrangements, we found that the civil service was poorly positioned to respond to increasing staff vacancy rates, which have grown in overall terms from 3.1% in March 2017 to 6.9% in March 2019. During this period, vacancy levels have risen in all but one of the 9 civil service departments. At March 2019, the total number of staff vacancies was significant at 1,420, which exceeded the combined total workforce within the 3 smallest departments at that time, namely the Department of Education, the Department of Health, and the Executive Office. To address these gaps in capacity, the civil service has used a variety of temporary staffing solutions and has become more reliant on the use of agency staff, temporary promotions, and overtime. On the particular issue of temporary promotions, the use of these across the civil service has increased dramatically, rising by 192% between March 2015 and March 2019. At March 2019, approximately 50% of the 1,420 vacancies previously referred to were being filled by temporary promotions. Such temporary measures will always have a place, as they can provide valuable support to departments. However, the sustained and increasing use of all of these solutions in the civil service is concerning. The service has recently responded by undertaking large-scale open recruitment competitions for administrative officer, staff officer, and deputy principal grades. These competitions are ongoing and aim to attract approximately 1,400 permanent recruits. I will now move on to the specific issue of recruitment itself. As Rodney has already mentioned, as part of this study, we surveyed civil service departments to get their views on specific issues relating to capacity and capability. This process identified significant concerns, with 8 out of the 9 departments reporting that the time taken to recruit and place internal and external candidates into post is not satisfactory. Our process of stakeholder engagement also identified that it could take up to 20 weeks, and sometimes even longer, to identify successful candidates. This did not include time taken to appoint them into post. It is our view that such delay can only increase reliance on temporary staffing solutions. Recruitment is also vitally important to ensure the civil service workforce has the required capability. For general service grades, appointments are not for specific roles, and recruitment and selection arrangements do not always assess skills and experience, nor consider these when placing staff into post. We have therefore recommended that a root and branch review of recruitment is now required. In relation to skills, we have determined that a stronger focus is also required on developing functional skills within the civil service workforce. Listeners may wonder what functional skills are. These skills differ from the widely recognised professional and technical skills and grades that currently exist within the civil service workforce. They include project management, contract management, and service delivery, and are currently carried out by general service staff. There is substantial evidence in our report to suggest that these skills are becoming increasingly important, delivering public services in a modern business environment. 5 departments, for example, advised of key skills gaps within their respective workforces in areas such as project management and service delivery. Despite this, we find little evidence that the civil service has adequately identified the importance of these functional skills at a strategic, service-wide level. Currently, the civil service is not aware of the range of functional skills, knowledge, and experience which its workforce already possesses, and what skills requirements are needed for successfully delivering future programmes for government. And finally, in relation to performance management, we have stated that we have significant concerns about the effectiveness of performance management in the civil service. For all major organisations, managing employee performance is crucial to achieving key corporate objectives and delivering quality outcomes. The current performance management system in the civil service allows for staff to be rated either as satisfactory or unsatisfactory, and during our audit we obtained the ratings assigned for the 2017-18 year, which was the latest available data we could obtain. We found that out of around 20,000 staff who received a performance rating, 99.9% of these were assessed as satisfactory, with only 0.1% or 19 staff receiving an unsatisfactory rating. In addition, just over 2,400 staff received no performance rating. The extremely low number of unsatisfactory assessments raises serious concern over the existing civil service approach to managing performance. We also have concerns over the culture that is now associated with this hugely important process. That concludes this short presentation, which we hope you found helpful. A full copy of our report can be found on our website. Thank you for listening.